Good evening. My name is Rabbi Diane Tiferet-Lakin, and this is my second year serving as part of the spiritual leadership team at Neve Kodesh. I want to begin with gratitude to each and every one of you who has entrusted me with your stories over this past year, who has invited me to accompany you and your children through this pandemic in which we have lost so much, and still continue to count our blessings and recognize the good. A year in which we have lived in and through our fear, anxiety, grief, anger, and despair, and reached for joy, gratitude, meaning, community. We have all demonstrated remarkable resilience. Give yourself a pat on the back. More so, in fact, than many of us dreamed possible. And we gathered, and we keep gathering around our screens, in person, outside, masked up. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up on yourselves. Thank you for not giving up on one another. Thank you for not giving up on this community or on our world. For continuing to reach out to remember in action our shared humanity. And thank you for gifting yourselves and one another this practice of Yom Kippur, this Shabbaton, this holiest of days. I don't know about you, but I feel deep awe and trepidation at the tasks ahead in the year 5782, a year of Shemitah, a year of release. Our Torah calls us to work 6 days a week and to rest on the seventh day. Similar, we are called to work the land 6 years and to let it rest on the seventh. During the seventh year, a Shemitah year, we are called to forgive debts, to allow our fields and our orchards to lie fallow, to make our food storages and perennial harvests available to all. Like the practice of Shabbat, the spiritual practice of a Shemitah year invites us to dream of equity, of balance, of compassion, of abundance and true partnership with the land and her inhabitants, of heaven on earth. Allowing ourselves to rest, we co-create the spaciousness needed to take stock of and to build or rebuild our resilience, initially by doing less and feeling more, in order to sustain our efforts for the good in the long term. I seek to live my life by the four worlds model that we teach our children in religious school, that we embody in our Shabbat morning prayer book, that is at the heart of so many of our beloved Jewish renewal teachings. All four of these worlds are present at every moment, in every interaction. The world of Asiya, the realm of physical manifestation and action. The world of Yetzirah, the realm of emotional relating and connections. The world of Bria, the realm of cognition and discernment, and the world of Atzilut, the sacred holy realm of mystery. All four of these are present right now. Asiya, in the way you feel the breath moving through your body, the chair containing your weight, the earth's gravity arising as you sit in front of your screens, the earth's gravity safely holding you here in your ears, hearing the dog bark. Yetzirah, in the mix of emotions arising as you sit in front of your screens, inside or beyond the perimeter of the tent, joy, trepidation, awe, sorrow, hope, despair, love, loneliness, equanimity, whatever is so for you in this moment. Bria, in the words I use to express myself and in the ways that you hear and make sense of what I am seeking to communicate. And Atzilut, in the way that God is with us, whether we sense her or not, whether in this moment we feel angry with or grateful to her, connected or disconnected, now, here, always. This is the holy ground on which we stand, sit, lie, dance, and die. I stand before you praying that this year our actions will matter, that our deeds will be sufficient, that we will continue to strengthen our ability to persevere through discomfort, that when we stand or sit here, God willing, together next Erev Yom Kippur, that our world will feel and be a little safer, a little, maybe even a lot, kinder. At the very least, that we will know that we did all we could to save all that we could save. This year, the Boulder Public Library has chosen as their community-wide one book, All We Can Save: Truth, Courage, and Solutions for the Climate Crisis. The goal of the annual series is in part to bring Boulder together through the shared experiences of reading and discussing the same book. I learned a few days ago that the library has 180 copies. As many of you know, a wonderful symbolic Jewish number that calls out to life. As you may have heard on Rosh Hashanah, and we'll learn more about later during our Tzedakah talk, we have picked 3 different organizations this year for your acts of generosity, your Truma, your heart gift, about which Ba'alat Tefillah Michelle Wolf spoke on Erev Rosh Hashanah. Our community, the International Rescue Committee and their efforts on behalf of Afghanis, and 350 Colorado. These 3 organizations represent ever-widening circles of connection, honoring first our spiritual home, Congregation Neve Kodesh, honoring second our shared humanity with people facing dislocation across the globe, and honoring third our shared habitat, this one beautiful, fragile planet, Earth, that we call home. In The Future Earth, climate journalist Eric Holthaus writes about radical hope, which he defines as knowing that the future can be better and knowing that we are the ones who must make that future happen. The biggest change is within our own minds and hearts to envision that a world like this is even possible. As Jews, we know this. We call it Messianic times. I want to stop for a moment and give us time to breathe and to feel into the notion, to wrap our minds, hearts, and souls around the belief that radical hope is knowing that the future can be better and knowing that we are the ones who must make that future happen. How many of you are feeling radical hope, thinking radical hope in this moment? I got a few flashes. How many of you, when you allow yourself to sit with the magnitude of the climate crisis that we are witnessing and learning about, feel despair, anger, grief, fear, and anxiety? I beg of you, have compassion with all of what you are feeling, including with the so-called darker emotions. In my experience, both personally and as a pastoral care provider, being told or telling ourselves to feel hopeful when we are despairing or joyful when we are anxious is not kind, and it is never empowering or spiritually productive. In her book, Healing Through the Dark Emotions, The Wisdom of Grief, Fear, and Despair, Miriam Greenspan explores the connections between our dark emotions and our spiritual strengths, how we can harvest gratitude from grief, faith from despair, joy from fear, giving ourselves time to be with what is, not unlike Shabbat, Yom Kippur, or the Shemitah year. These spiritual strengths, she writes, as well as the power of courage and compassion, come to us when we are open to the wisdom of the dark emotions and learn how to live open-heartedly in a world damaged and broken by human actions, a world that needs healing as urgently as we ourselves do. Back to Eric Holthaus and his theory of change, requiring nothing more and nothing less than billions of people just showing up in their own lives, energetic and ready to struggle together. A worldwide Hinenu moment made up of lots of billions of Hineni moments. Our simple willingness to keep showing up with all that is, is what's required. He argues that the single most important thing each of us can do about climate change is to talk about it with anyone who will listen. And when someone talks with you about the climate emergency and how it's affecting them in their life, listen. Talking about climate change is how we build a better world. Learning and listening and getting excited about new ways of existing on our beautiful planet is impossible without conversation. I hope you will join me on Zoom at CNK's own Tikkun Olam Sparks Climate Action event on October 10th, organized by Howard Brantz and others, where we will be invited to share in smaller groups the feelings we have around climate issues and be guided to explore our individual and collective hinenis, what we are willing to do. And perhaps you will go down to the library or the Boulder bookstore and pick up a copy of All We Can Save and join the Boulder Wide conversation as well. I have about 15 books on my desk right now. In the course of researching and writing this dvar, I have cycled through all the dark emotions: fear, anger, grief, despair. And I have felt my way back to connection, possibility, faith, joy, only to cycle through again, each time strengthening my emotional resiliency, staying engaged, and feeling my feelings. It's exhausting. And I have gained at least a couple of pounds in the process. But no matter how much I emotionally eat, I know that I cannot eat my way to saving what I love. So I hold myself gently. I reach out for support. I come back to center. I come back to God, to what I know. I know that we must act, and that action includes feeling our feelings. I know that we have many of the technological solutions already at our fingertips, and that there are many people working on the political will to make radical change happen. I know that God will accompany us every step of the way. I know, and when I don't know, I try to trust that we still have time to avert further suffering. I don't know what the outcome of my actions, our actions, will be, but I agree with Mary Anais Hegler writing in All We Can Save that we can do this. Quote, "We can acknowledge the storm of emotions that comes with watching our world burn. We can process those emotions and pick ourselves up to put the blaze out as best we can, because it's worth it, because we are worth it. We are worth it. Each of us, B'Tselem Elohim, made in the image of God, deeply human. God and this world, they don't need our perfection or the perfect fix. God and this world, they need us to show up as our messy, imperfect, contradictory, broken selves." She writes, "We must learn the difference between hopelessness and helplessness. What if hope isn't what leads to action? What if courage leads to action and hope is what comes next?" Let me repeat that for those of you like me who aren't feeling so much hope right now. What if hope isn't what leads to action? What if courage leads to action and hope is what comes next? We are made B'Tselem Elohim in the image of God. We are holiness in action, co-creators of heaven and earth, co-creators of our collective next moment. As Mary Anais Hegler says in her own Hineni voice, "I don't need a guarantee of success before I risk everything to save the things, the people, the places that I love." Let us cultivate courage and reignite hope together. Let us rest and replenish, and then, come the end of Yom Kippur, let us take up the work of Messianic dreaming, Messianic actions. For now, may this holiest of days refill our depleted wells. May it nourish our souls with song and prayer, with Torah and connection, with tears and mythic storytelling, so that we can pick up again the holy work of Tikkun Olam, of repairing the world at sundown tomorrow. May we come to feel deep within us in our kishkas the truth of longtime Gaian consciousness activist Joanna Macy, that our world will be healed by ordinary people, people whose love for this life is even greater than their fear. People like you, people like me. We are the ones. Again, effective action comes from love. It is unstoppable, and it is enough. Effective action comes from love. It is unstoppable, and it is enough. Look around your screen. Hi, guys on Zoom. Look around the tent. Hi, guys in the tent. Look to God and to your own hearts. Each of us B'Tselem Elohim. Each of us a God spark waiting to ignite goodness in and for ourselves and our world. We can do this. We are not alone. We can lean on one another. We can hold and raise each other up. We can choose life, Havaya, and save all that can be saved. We are the ones.
Who are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones. Where are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones. Who are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones. Where are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones. Who are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones. Where are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones. Who are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones. Where are the ones we are waiting for? We are the ones.
Gemar Chatima Tova. May we all be inscribed for life.